Good morning, friends. I just realized I'm kind of far over. I hope you all had a good weekend. I hope your week before Christmas is not as crazy as mine is. I was writing out my schedule this morning, and for some reason it is like jam-packed, like Christmas parties, visiting relatives, family stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just a little overwhelming. So I hope yours is less overwhelming than mine, but that you at least have some time to enjoy the holidays. Tonight we are going to, as a family, to Christmas in Color, which is something local here to Utah, but you drive through it and it takes like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 minutes, depending on how many people there are, but it's over 1 million lights. And Christmas lights are my very favorite. So we go see them several times a year, but I like this one because you can stay warm in your car and you don't have to get out, and my kids absolutely love it. So that makes it super fun. So I'm excited for that, excited that we at least get something fun in this week amongst all the chaos. But there's a couple things I want to talk about this morning. One, the brand is released. The new brand, Get Simply Online. You can check out our new website. That has all been converted. Email addresses, like everything, Instagram page, everything has been converted except for this Facebook page, because Facebook has been going back and forth with me about if the content has changed. And like I've previously mentioned, it hasn't changed. We're just changing our name to catch up with what we've been creating and what we've been working on as a company for the last 18 months. So yeah, that's just fun. Cross your fingers that gets taken care of today. Anyway, today I wanted to chat about my favorite tools for 2018. I did this in the last couple of years, always in December, what my favorite tools are that changed my business that year. And as I was going through my last year's one for 2017, I realized that they haven't really changed. They're still the ones I listed last year are still the absolute best ones this year. Like, I still use all of them. So I'm going to go through those real quick, but then I wanted to add a couple more to the list because there are some other things that I've been using that have changed the way I manage my company. So last year, the first one I listed was Loom. I still use Loom several times a week. I probably use it even more than I did last year. It's so you can record, make videos. I use it to make videos for my team, like training videos. So if they ask a question, instead of like having to coordinate kids and schedules and clients and all that, I can just record them a quick video, answer their question, and send it to them. Makes it super easy and efficient. Then they have a record of how I did things. And they also have a visual process of how things work or how I like things done. So I still use that quite often. The other one is Asana. I have used several project managers. I've always gone back to this one. I stuck with Asana. I've probably had it for about 2 years now. I can create recurring tasks. I can assign tasks to my team. I can assign stuff to myself. I can sync it to my email so that anytime I need to add a task to Asana, it automatically goes. It's been super, super helpful to keep track of my team. And I just have the free version. You can pay for the fancy bells and whistles, but the free version has worked well for me. The next one is Calendly. Again, I've looked at a lot of time tracker, time schedulers, and this is the one that I like. It's easy to use, integrates with my Gmail because it is a Gmail-based program. But yeah, it's super easy for me to just send a link when I'm trying to schedule meetings. People can pick the time that they want, and then it automatically goes on both of our calendars. The next one is Rev. So I still use Rev, again, every day, probably multiple times a day. We use that as a transcription service. I've used several others. As you can see, I always use several others before I land on one tool. But this one, it's a little bit pricier than some of the other ones. They charge $1 a minute. But for us, where we're transcribing so many things every week and every day, it's the most Yes, it's more expensive, but it's also the most accurate. So it requires the least amount of editing for me when I have to, when we have transcriptions. And because we're doing transcriptions all day long, that's super important for us to have something that's efficient, that we're not having to decipher words and sentences. So if you're doing a lot of transcription, or if you're doing transcription for someone else, I highly recommend this one. It's definitely worth the price. And then the last one is Zoom. Most of my business is outside of Utah, and my time that I meet with people in Utah is obviously pretty limited because of my kids. So I do a lot of stuff through Zoom, because I still like to see people face to face. I still like to interact with them and see them and read their facial expressions and all of those things. So Zoom allows me to do that. Okay, so there's a couple more that I want to add for this year. The first one is Expensify. I like this one. This is to track your expenses. So what I do is when I go out and say I'm putting gas in my car, I take a picture of my receipt and it puts it in Expensify and then links it with my QuickBooks. So I always have record of the receipt and I don't have to keep the paper. So this has helped me dramatically decrease the amount of paper that I use, thank goodness. But I like it, so it just digitizes all of my receipts. That one I do pay, I think I pay like $7 or $8 a month. So again, not super pricey, but that's worth it for me to get rid of all the paper. The next one is Slack. So Slack is like an instant messaging system. I use that to communicate with clients, but also with my team. But I like it because everything's in one place. I can share files, I can share pictures. It's searchable. You can create groups, you can create, like I have a channel, they're called channels there, for my team meeting. So I can list to my staff what we're talking about that week for our team meeting, so everyone knows without having to go check multiple places. So I love Slack. Again, I'm on the free version. There is a paid version, but the free version's been fine for us. And then the last one I wanted to add is Google Drive. I don't know how many people use, I mean, there's Google Drive, there's Dropbox, there's OneDrive. I still have a Dropbox account. I use it mostly for personal, but Google Drive I have found works super well. I know there's a lot of people that don't like it, but it's easy for me to collaborate with people, to send messages, to, add comments to documents, to share documents. It's just been super easy for me, and it's accessible on any computer. I typically work from my desktop, but when I'm traveling, I'm working from my Chromebook. Sometimes when I'm out for the day and I don't come home, I just take my Chromebook or my phone and or my tablet and work. So Google Drive allows me to work, to work across all those platforms. So yeah, I really like Google Drive. Just putting that out there. Anyway, so that was technically 8 tools that I liked for this year. 5 of them are the same ones as last year because I still use them. So I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great Christmas, and I will chat with you later. Bye.